In the gallant days when history hung on the flight of an arrow or the slash of a sword, when feudal barons ravaged the countryside to live in pomp and splendor.
It is truly colorful, exciting, fascinating entertainment every minute of the way.
Moonsea Adventures.
Hello and welcome back to the Moonsea Adventures. If you're binge watching this show, you might have just finished watching the previous episode, but rest assured, it has been several weeks since we all in this group have played together, mainly because I was out of town and off the grid. And it was just as awesome as one might imagine. Basically, I went camping for a week where there was no screens and no devices and no data and no internet. And it felt like a D&D adventure. And I smelled really bad afterwards. So, but in this D&D adventure, you all are not camping. You're actually in a city. And where we left off was that you had, after doing quite a bit of investigations and kind of patrolling the roads, meeting people, kind of learning more about what's going on in and around the region that you're in, you've kind of come to discover quite a few interesting things, and you have now returned to the tavern and inn where you are staying, which we have decided is the Windy Moon Tavern and Inn. So it is nighttime. When you guys returned, it was quiet, and you discovered that the innkeeper, who is Zam, has fallen sick, and you guys kind of helped him get to his lodging. He is married. His wife has gone to seek out some sort of help for him. Apparently there's a priest in a temple, a small shrine, not even a big temple, and she has gone to seek out help. So you guys are basically at the inn. It's nighttime. I'm going to say it's about 9 p.m. and you have tucked Zam into his bed. What would you like to do?
I think first things first, it's dinner time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, there are pantries and a kitchen, but no food. So if anyone would like to try to make a meal, you could do so.
Anything in the basement?
Oh yeah, like I said, they have a pantry, they have cupboards with food. There's plenty of stuff, and there's stuff to cook with. And
who knows how to cook?
Don't worry, I got this. I tried to make scrumptious dinner.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go to one of our rooms, and I'm gonna take a bath and fix my hair. See, I've done it.
Okay.
So that's before dinner.
It feels good after the day out and about that you had.
Smearing mud on ourselves.
Yeah. So I'm going to say that you guys have a late dinner. I will have Harley make a wisdom based roll, but no proficiency bonus. So just make a roll, add in your wisdom bonus if you have one.
16.
Oh. You craft an acceptable pot of food, basically.
And I'll help myself with a little bit of prestidigitation to flavor it.
Yeah, it's basically a significant pot of stew that you just gathered a bunch of crap and threw it into a pot and cooked it and then threw some flavor in it, and it actually tastes pretty good. So all of you guys are able to enjoy a meal. It has been a long day, so what are your plans for the night? Who's sleeping and where, and are you doing any guard duty, watch duty sort of thing?
First thing, I have to tell you guys something about myself. I came from an orc village. We were all females. Most of us were part human. I had gone out hunting and trading. We traded with the dwarves in that area. And I came back, and everyone in the village was dying. Some kind of respiratory thing. They would get tired, and some people died going to the wells. Some people died while cooking food. Some people were lucky and they were able to die in their beds, but they were dying. My grandmother wasn't sick, and I didn't get it. I wasn't sick, but it was horrible. And when she died, and she was very old, that was when I experienced my first rage. And I buried everyone I could, and I burned the village down.
And it was more like an illness or an affliction.
I don't know. I don't know much about that, but they were tired, and they had trouble breathing, and they couldn't walk. They would walk some steps to the well and then had to rest, and then walk again, and then they'd rest. It was sad watching them. So I've been through this already. I can stay here, and I'd like a few hours of sleep, and I'll go and feed Zam, and then I'll take my turn at a watch.
So
I just wanted y'all to know that.
I'll take the first watch then.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll go feed Zam.
And then, just to be clear, Angler, you're sleeping, and like during this first chunk of time.
Unless my friend Harley would like me to stay up.
Okay.
Keep him company.
I never say no to your companionship.
I will
Okay,
stay
so
up with
Tyler.
Harley.
So Harley and Angler are gonna stay up, and Syllar and Ushun are gonna sleep for this first part. Okay, so Harley and Angler, give me perception rolls.
Two.
8.
We're not very perceptive bunch.
Okay, you basically for the first 4 hours, it's pretty uneventful. You frequently hear you hear Zam, like, every once in a while be like and then like nothing for a while. Sometimes you hear him snore, sometimes you hear him like wake up and be like, oh. And then towards the end of your shift, you hear him vomit. Like you hear it hit the bucket, and he's like barfing. He seems very dehydrated and sick. You guys bring him some water, and he kind of settles in after a little bit. About 1 a.m, you hear a knocking on the front door of the inn, and it seems rather urgent.
Who's there?
Please let me in, please.
I'll open the window, the door just a bit to see who it is.
Okay. You open the door. You see a human man who looks like he's in his, maybe 50s. And he's got clearly a wound on his head that's bleeding. And he looks like he's got a couple other bruises, like he's been beat up. And he's like, please, let me in. They're coming for me, please.
Who's coming? Speak quickly.
These thieves, these bandits.
Come on in.
And he
And I'll let him in.
he comes in and you see basically like his shirt is torn, his pants are torn, he's wearing like one shoe, and he once you get in, he like collapses on the ground and he's like, oh, I ran as fast as I could. When I came to the docks, they demanded payment and I paid, and then they decided to just take everything. They took anything that they wanted, and I called for help and no one came. There were no constables, no guards, and I tried to run and call for help, and then they started to chase me, and one of them threw a rock, and he's like holding the wound on his head.
You
Can I make
know
an insight check?
Yes, feel free to make an insight check.
you know how to make a friend.
12.
He seems to be telling the truth, and he definitely looks like he's not carrying. There's no pouches, no belts, no, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't have any weapons. He looks like he got beat up. He says, friends, I was simply bringing in my fishing boat. There's storms further out in the Moonsea. I was simply trying to dock. What is going on in this city? What's happened? Where is everyone? It's absolute lawlessness down there.
Well, you know, Blake. And I smile like a lunatic.
Plague? Ugh. And he like kind of backs away from you guys. And he's like, is there no law? Are there no constables anymore?
Well, we don't know at the moment, but we'll try to investigate tomorrow. And don't worry, we were not bitten by any rabid animals that spreads the plague.
He seems confused. He's like, I don't know what you're speaking of, but
Don't worry, that hit on the head. That's maybe
you
the
guys
cause of
stop
that.
talking so loud. Trying to
you don't hear it. This is you're
okay.
up in
Sorry.
a room.
Sorry.
So he basically he says, may I just lie down and rest here for a short while until the morning?
We'll keep an eye on you. Don't worry.
Thank you. And he kind of like gets up and crawls over to a bench along the wall near one of the tables, and he kind of takes like a cloth napkin that's on the table that was like clearly used but not cleaned up after dinner, and he just kind of like shakes out the crumbs and uses it to like put pressure on his head, and then he like lays down.
Very nice to blankets in my room.
Yeah, I mean there's a what do you call it, like a big linen closet in adjacent to where Zam's room is. There's plenty of blankets and stuff.
I'll go fetch him a blanket and pillow while Harley talks to him.
He's like, oh, thank you, and he kind of nods, and he kind of curls up and lays down on the bench.
You know, maybe this city is already lawless. We'll see tomorrow. You should get some rest.
So you guys spend another hour. Nothing else really happens. What at a certain point in the middle of the night, I'm assuming you're switching shifts. So you guys go sleep. Skylar, they wake you up. Ushun, they wake you up. You both feel rested. You regain hit points as is appropriate for a long rest and any spell slots. And it's, very late at the night. But you guys feel, like you've been woken up. Angler and Harley go to sleep.
As we are switching, I tell Ushun to keep an eye on that visitor.
Okay. So
Who
they
is
tell
he?
you about the guy
Okay.
that came in the middle of the night, and you see him when you and Skylar go downstairs. You see him. He's just seems to be like laying down on the bench.
Is he sound asleep?
Yes.
Okay. I'll go check on Zam.
Okay. Zam
Bring him
is
some water, some more food.
yeah. So Zam threw up all of the food that you gave him.
Oh, man.
He's covered in sweat, and he looks very kind of unhealthy.
Yeah, here. I'll get you some bath water in here, and I fill a thing and put cooler water in there. And here, I'll leave you here. Just step in this and wash yourself off. Keep yourself clean.
Make a medicine check. Are you proficient in medicine?
No.
Make a medicine check anyway.
That's 11.
Okay. I mean, you could just tell that he's sick, and that like basically what you guys are doing is comforting him, but he's not getting better per se. You're just kind of helping him get through it. But he's kind of, in and out of consciousness at this point, and he kind of like looks up at you and he says, "Is my wife Keely, has she returned?"
Not yet, Sam.
It's why is she not returned?
Well, I don't know.
The shrine she should have returned by now.
Where is the
Not that
shrine?
far away. It's the south side of the city, the southeast quarter. It's not far from the docks. She should have returned by now.
We understand that there's some lawlessness down by the docks.
He's like, lawlessness.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? What is going on?
Well, basically, the constabulary is nowhere to be found, and the governing structure of the town has broken down, and we're thinking of leaving. We will take you with us. We have someone working on a potion.
My wife, please. She should not have been gone this long.
Yeah, I understand. Do you consent to be the first one to take the potion of healing that the apothecary, the cure disease potion that the apothecary is whipping up right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything.
Just lay down. I'll get you some cool water in here.
He lays back. After about 10 minutes of kind of taking care of him, he kind of falls back to sleep.
Skylar. Okay, I leave. Skylar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Zam's wife went to the southeast quarter of the city, not far from the docks, to a shrine to get help. And he said she should be back, but I'm not sure we should leave. He wants us to look for her, but
We'll better wait till morning and just the whole group of us could go out.
yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't venture out together, or even just one, leaving out a watch here and going by yourself. So
Yeah,
better wait till morning.
good idea. Okay, I'll
Make perception checks.
That's an 18.
yeah, what is mine? Perception. 12.
So about an hour later, I'm going to say at like 4 a.m, you hear bells. Not like church bells, but like ding, 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 like medium-sized bells. And it sounds like it's coming down the street from where you guys are. And Syllar, you actually smell like burning.
Mm-hmm. Keeping an eye on the visitor, I go over to the window or open up the shutters and peer outside.
So you could see about a block and a half down the same street that you guys are on, there's a building on fire. That's the smell, and it's the fire's going.
Fire alarm.
And you see like a bunch of like maybe about 12 people running over with buckets and trying to throw buckets of water on it. You see some men like carrying out people from this building. And there's like, it basically looks like this building's burning.
Right.
And there's an attempt to try to put out the fire or minimize it.
I'll come to look too.
Yeah.
Does it look like it's spreading our way?
It could, but it's a block and a half down. And I mean, there are other buildings adjacent to it.
All right. I'm going to go back up to our room and notify the guys that don't worry, going back to sleep. Expecting them to have woken up by the bells. Just letting them know that it's all cool, and if anything changes, we'll be back up.
Okay.
So they can keep resting quietly.
Okay.
And then go back down again.
So you guys, I mean, you can see it. Basically, more people come. At a certain point, the bells stop ringing when there's about 30 people there. You see people constantly filling buckets from a well and tossing it at the building where the fire is and at the adjacent buildings as well. So they're trying to mitigate that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the people that they're pulling out of the building. What
Yeah, a lot of them look like this might have been like an inn, and they're coughing, and there are people crying. There are people kind of coughing sitting on the ground. There's covered in soot and that kind of stuff.
I presume we have the room on the top floor.
Yes.
So as the Syllar leaves, I whisper to Angler, "You rest, man. I'll take a look at this." And I turn myself invisible and sneak out of the window.
Oh. Okay.
Just to check the situation that's in the streets.
Okay. You see now that some constables have shown up. The constables look very tired, like they maybe haven't rested at all. You see that there are, a lot of people from the neighboring buildings who've come out, and people are gathering around and filling buckets from the well as quickly as they can. Yeah.
Okay, and did I encounter anyone suspicious, or anyone that's standing nearby and looking what's going on? Just
make a insight check.
Okay. Oh, insight, it's a 14.
You don't see anyone really suspicious. Everybody's very active. But you do sense that like the constables are look like they've haven't rested in multiple days. Like they look exhausted.
So in that case, I'll go back to the inn, or near the inn we're staying in, and I just look around if there is anyone that might endanger us.
How's the fire looking?
The building's basically destroyed, but they've managed to stop it from spreading.
And the visitor, is he up or still asleep?
He stirred when you guys were looking out the window and you opened up the cupboards, and then he went back to sleep.
All right.
Syllar, I want to go out there and talk to the constables.
All right,
I'll leave. I'll just take my. I won't take my grade club. I'll just take a javelin and my dagger.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll walk up to one of the constables, the one that looks most important.
I'll keep watch from the window.
He kind of turns to you. He looks dirty. He looks fatigued. He's like, what is it?
Heck of a night, huh?
He says, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is nothing.
How many are you?
Left? I have no idea.
We got a report of some assault battery down by the docks by some gang.
There's been crime everywhere. Looting. Places burned down.
I've heard there's
places that where people have gone sick. I've heard rumors that the city's going to be on lockdown.
Okay.
That there will be a curfew and everyone will be ordered to stay indoors until this lawlessness is put to rest.
Any idea when this is going to happen?
I should have happened a day ago. Perhaps tomorrow. I don't know.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot. We're keeping ourselves safe.
Right. He nods.
Hey man, get some rest. I kind of give him a playful punch on the shoulder.
And he looks over to the three other constables. He's like, let's go. And they start walking off.
I go back to the inn.
Yeah, you get back. Nothing else really happens for the next few hours.
Hey, Syllar, we're talking about locking this city down. We got to get ready to get out of here.
Yeah. Well.
So morning comes. Harley and Angler, you guys kind of finish your rest. Ushun and Syllar, you're up in the morning. Still no sign of Zam's wife. It's very quiet in the inn. It's also eerily quiet outside. You don't hear people walking around or voices or, shopkeepers talking loudly or horses going by or carriages, anything.
Everybody's hunkered down.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I'm going to pop out to see how the apothecary is doing. I want to get a cure for Zam. I tell them about Zam's wife and about how the city might be going on lockdown pretty soon. So I think we gotta figure out how to get out of here.
All right.
Okay.
Are
Do we
you
wanna
all
try
going to
and-
the apothecaries, or what are you doing?
Well, that was what I was going through. Are we going to try and find Keely and bring her back, or because then we might better be off after breakfast and going all out and find an apothecary and down south to where the temple and see what we can find.
So I have a plan. Ushun,
Is it a cunning plan?
as always, you know me as I know myself. Well, Ushun, you visit the healer, and
Apothecary.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And Syllar and Angler, you prepare everything for departure. And point me towards the shrine. I'll turn myself invisible and investigate.
Well, the shrine is in the southeast quadrant of the city, not far from the docks. Be careful, as we heard from this guy.
Well, I can be invisible for an hour, so
Yeah, well,
as long as I'm concentrating, it will be no problem for me.
alrighty. I should be back pretty quickly. I'm taking my halberd with me, a javelin, and my dagger.
So you're going solo.
Yeah.
Okay.
The best idea ever. We're splitting the party.
Well, since Syllar and I are just
You're
packing
free.
things, just focus on those two for now.
All right. So I'll do Ushun first. First of all, make a perception check. As you're on your way to the apothecary.
I'm looking for her name too. I can't find it. I'll get it. Okay.
Oh, it's Rihanna.
Okay, right.
Not to be
That's an-
confused with Rihanna. It's Rihanna.
The nickname I
Okay.
gave my brother when I was younger.
That's a 9.
Okay. It's not weird at all that the streets are basically empty and abandoned as you walk towards the apothecary.
Well, I'm taking precautions, but yeah.
You do see other signs of life that you may not normally see as openly. For example, you see like alley cats, you see rats, you see birds, but you don't see anyone out and about on the streets. You get to her shop as usual. The front door is closed. The windows are shuttered,
Go around
as
to the
are
back.
everything on the block. You go around the back, and you see her back door is open, and there's a strong smell.
I'll knock the butt end of my halberd on the door frame.
And you hear a voice say, "Who is that?"
It's Ushun.
And the door swings open, and you see she comes out, and she's wearing like a cloth over her face, and she says, "Oh, it's you. Come on in." And she goes back through the swinging door into her kitchen. You see, as you go in, she has basically every surface where she can set up flame. And you see these a whole bunch of different pots with these herbs that she is basically stewing. And in another section of that kitchen, you see she has like 4 different mortar and pestles where she's got clumps of herbs next to each one. and she's got some jars. So she kind of goes back to grinding up these things, and she says, it's going to take a while, but I think you've gathered quite a lot of very useful ingredients. How are you and your people doing?
Well, we got a patient for you. When you're done, do you need help?
She looks around and she says, well, unless you could somehow speed up time, it's just a matter of waiting. You have to be very patient in order to boil down and create an extract.
Okay, what about the grinding and stuff? I think I can do that. Pretty strong.
Sure. She says it's not really about strength, though. You just have to make sure you're evenly, kind of working this through. She says, watch me first. And she shows you kind of one of the categories, like these leaves that she's dried out, and she's started to kind of grind them up into a finer kind of powder. And then she goes over to another area where she has these seeds, and she says, now, these are very important, but you've got to make sure that the seeds don't pop out while you're grinding them. So she shows you. After a little practice, you basically are kind of working the mortar and pestle while she's like working all the different pots that she has on her stove. And occasionally kind of stirring and checking the consistency and making ever so slight adjustments to, the coals that are burning underneath so that it doesn't overheat.
Well, I'll put my halberd nearby, and I tell her that the city is a little bit lawless, so I'm glad I'm here, and I'll help her out as much as I can.
Okay. All right. So you're working on that with her. Smashed cut to Harley. What do you do?
Well, if I'm not seeing anyone in particular, I'll try to hurry to the shrine, looking for any signs of innkeeper's wife.
Okay, so
and I'm checking the alleys and so on.
You begin heading south. You see the aftermath of the fire that happened. You see that 2-story inn and tavern is just like completely burned out. It's like just a charred shell. You also notice that like the buildings around it are all like closed up and shuttered. You head about a few blocks to the south and then start cutting to the east. And give me a perception check.
1, not natural, but 1.
Excellent. You make your way. You notice that there's nobody out on the streets. You make your way to the kind of the southeast quadrant of the city, and in short order, you find yourself walking around this area that's just north and east of the easternmost stretch of the docks. And you kind of stumble across this area mainly because you notice a couple buildings within, not right next to each other, but like you see one building that was kind of on the corner of a block that looks like it was also burned down. And then you see another building that looks like it was partially burned. And then you notice this small white plaster building with a holy symbol on it. Make a religion check.
Okay. 11.
You're fairly sure that the symbol above the shrine is that of Shantea. She's a goddess of like earth and fertility. The door to this building is wide open.
So I'll peek inside.
Okay. You look inside and it looks like somebody just went through and just demolished everything. Like there are wooden stools that have been and like long benches that have been like flipped over and just knocked about. You see like sheets of parchment like on the floor, torn apart as if somebody just ripped sheets out of a book and threw them. You see there's numerous spots along the wall where sconces that would, the metal sconces that would hold like candles have been ripped out of the wall. And there's literal holes in the wall as if it were hit with hard objects. I mean, the place has just been destroyed. And across the entrance from you, lying on effectively what is the altar, you see a wooden table, and across the top of the table is a thin stone tablet of some kind of like granite. And you see what looks like the body of a man, like laid out on that table. Like his back is away from you, so you can't really see his face, but he's wearing like clerical robes.
So I'll go around that tablet and look on his face or on his front if he's alive or if he's dead.
Go ahead and make another perception check as you get closer.
Okay. 5.
You see that there's blood. Like as you're getting closer, you see, his arms are at his side. He's facing away from you, but it looks like there's blood staining like one side of his arm sleeve. And you notice it's the sleeve is torn. Not cleanly, like from a blade, but like kind of ripped at.
Hey, holy man, are you alive?
As you get around to the front, you hear him go, and then he kind of looks up at you and his eyes are sort of bloodshot and red.
Well, I presume I'm still invisible.
Are you?
Well, invisibility says that it ends when I attack or cast a spell.
Then yes. He kind of looks up and you could tell that there's something not right, and he kind of like lifts his head up and he sits up and he looks around and he's got like a white cake of foam around his lips. And he gets up off the tablet and he turns around. What do you do?
I slowly, very carefully back away to the entrance, and I repeat myself.
Do me a favor, just make a stealth check for me.
Okay. One stealth check on the way. Fuck.
Invisible, does he get advantage?
Oh yeah, sure. You can have advantage. Go
okay. Okay, then it's 14.
Oh. As you're stealthing backwards with advantage, carefully and invisibly, you kind of bump into one of the many fallen stools and benches, make a little noise. You see the infected priest kind of turn, and he's like, and he starts running over towards that area. And everything that's in his way, he just kind of like picks up and throws out of the way, and he moves out, like just kind of picking up and throwing things out of the way as he's moving towards the area where you were. You make it to the door.
Yeah.
But he's kind of like making a mess out of everything in his effort to get to where you
Yeah. So as he's running towards me and I'm invisible, I just quickly step aside, like on the side of the door, to be covered by the wall. And I'm waiting if he's running out or what.
So are you inside the building or have you stepped outside?
I stepped outside and towards one side.
Okay. So you can hear him like making noise in there and hear him, throwing things around and growling in this terrifying way. And suddenly you hear the sounds of two sets of footprints running towards you, and you see two kind of young men running up towards the door of the church.
Like two healthy or two rabid men?
Two healthy young men. They look like they're in good physical shape. They look like, kind of commoners, like maybe they're not, wearing any weapons, but one of them's got like a tool belt with like a hammer. And they run up and literally run up to right where you are, and they slam the door closed. And one of them reaches into a pouch and starts handing nails to the guy with the hammer, and he's banging nails into the door to seal it into the frame. And you hear the priest on the other side now like run over to the door, and he's like, and he's banging on the door. And they're like, the one guy's holding the door while the other guy's trying to
I'll help him. I'll hold the door.
Okay. They don't know you're there yet?
Nope.
Right? Okay. So they don't realize why necessarily, but they're able to hold the door effectively and nail it shut. And the one guy with the hammer says to the other guy, he says, that wooden railing, snap it off and bring it over here. And the other guy goes over to the hand railing that leads up to the stairs, and he bashes it and kicks it off, and he brings the wood over, and then they nail that up almost as like a deadbolt across. They stop, and they're both like panting, and they're like, and this whole time the priest inside is like banging. And then the one guy says, we shouldn't be out here. We should get back. And the other guy says, yeah, just give me a second. I need to catch my breath.
You need to run away, guys.
Then you hear...
You need to run away.
Then you hear another voice of a feral kind of growling sound coming down the street towards them. And you see a woman, just like a common-looking woman, with like red bloodshot eyes and like yellow goop around her eyes and foam at her mouth, and she's running full speed, and she's like, and she's running towards where you guys are right now.
I yell at them, run! And I blast at the woman with the Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
So I turn visible.
Okay. So you yell run. They're surprised to hear this. You blast. Go ahead and make your roll.
Okay, that's bad. That's 11.
That hits. Roll damage.
Okay. 5.
Okay, the blast hits her and kind of knocks her back, slowing her down a bit. The two guys see you, and then they like that you appeared, and they're like, oh! And they stumble down the stairs, but then they see her, and they look to you, and then they run. She gets up, and she starts running again. Your turn.
I'll blast her again.
Okay.
And then yell to those guys. Run, you fools!
Okay. Roll Eldritch Blast again.
Okay, for hit it's 17,
That's a hit.
and for damage it's 14.
Oh, she drops. The second blast hits her, and she hits the ground. Boom, done. The guys are now, they turn the corner and they're hauling. And by the way, the priest is still inside, just furiously banging away and howling inside.
I run away towards that dead woman,
Yeah.
and I'll check if it's the innkeeper's wife.
It is. You find Keely.
So I
she looks like she is maybe infected, like maybe was infected. Actually, make a medicine check. Let's see if you notice this.
Medicine. No, that's great. 17.
Okay, you actually notice that on by her ankle there's a bandage, and the bandage is kind of bloodied, and it looks old, like maybe she's had her ankle bandaged for a few days.
Okay. For good measures, I double tap with the Eldritch Blast, and I pick her on my shoulder.
Okay.
Or at least I try to pick her on my shoulder, and carry her towards the inn.
Okay. I will say that you have to go very slow because you don't have a huge strength.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can carry her. Smash cut back to Angler and Syllar. You guys are doing what now? You're packing up everything?
Yeah. Looking for a cart.
I don't think we had a whole lot, but
Okay.
Mhm.
And what are you looking for in terms of packing it into, or what do you, I mean, you get everything gathered and packed up, but what do you want to do after that?
Oh, Ushun said something about looking for a cart, put stuff in. So I'll be checking around the inn and some of the adjacent buildings for a cart.
Okay. So this inn does not have its own stables, but there is a stable at the end of this block that a lot of the inns and taverns have that they use, almost like a parking garage, right? So it's like a shared stable. So go ahead and you guys can go out there and make a perception check. Let me know what your result is, and I'll tell you kind of what you find.
3.
19.
Okay. You find, well, first of all, it's curious, you find no horses in the stables at all. You do see some cats hanging out in the stables, but you don't see any horses. You do find a cart. Now, it's not a big cart. It's a 4-wheeled cart, and it's 4 feet by 8 feet. You feel like if you had some strength-based people, you could probably try to pull that. But you do see how it could also be yoked to an animal, if you could find an animal.
Yeah. Well, Ushun said she could pull quite a bit, and with the rest of us pushing and maybe pulling as well, it might work. Does it look like we could bring it back to the inn?
Yes.
Is there anyone that would notice? Do we see anyone?
You don't see anybody.
No, okay.
Make another perception check.
It's an 18.
A 5.
Okay. You guys start pulling it out. As you pull it out, you see that like the 4 cats that are in the barn, that they you see that they start like yowling, like wow, and they're like hissing at, you're not sure if it's at you You can make an a handling check if you want to determine what they're.
That's an
14.
Okay. They seem to be scared of something in your general direction. And then as they're hissing and yowling, they start climbing up the posts into the hayloft, like the second floor of the stables.
Right.
I am gonna pull my weapon.
Okay.
Did we check in on the inside of the car that it was empty?
It is empty.
Right. That's not that we didn't know someone hiding in there.
Nope. So you get the cart out of the stables, and you're in this yard, and you're kind of turning it towards the street. When you notice a rat, just not like a giant rat, just a normal looking rat, come out from underneath the stairs of the adjacent building. The difference though is that the rat is like frothing at the mouth, and its eyes are kind of red, and it kind of like peeks out from the stairs, and it's looking at both of you.
All right. How far away?
It's about 15 feet away.
All right.
And you notice that it like, you could still hear the cats in the barn, and it's like looking between the barn, and then it's looking at you. What do you do?
I'll look at Syllar and I'll go, just like, be like, back me up. And then go, stab it.
I'll keep pushing.
It makes its move. If you keep pushing, it darts over towards you guys. Roll initiative.
18.
17.
Cool. All right. The 18 goes first. It's coming right at you.
I'll intercept it and go for a stab.
Okay, go ahead.
That's a natural one.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh,
All right.
indeed.
Syllar, you were pulling the cart.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have any weapons out, but it is your turn next. You see Angler like swipe down to stab this thing, and the rat's just too fast, and it looks like it's launching itself towards Angler.
All right. I'll unhook my quarterstaff from my backpack and go over and basically like a golf club swing at the at the rat. See if I knock him out.
All right.
Knock him out of the way. Yeah, that's an attack for the quarterstaff. 12.
Interesting. You hit it, and you send it flying.
All right.
And then the other ones come out.
Oh boy.
By the way, it would have been a 6 + 2. So.
Okay. So we have 3 and 3. Syllar, armor class 10, 18, 19.
16 for me.
Okay, so that's 2 hits. Angler, armor class 16.
That hits.
Okay. So, Syllar, you're going to take 2 hit points. Angler, you're going to take 1 hit point, and each of you needs to make a con save.
Eight.
11.
Okay. Your turn. There are 3 rats on each of you, and they are all infected. They all have goopy eyes and frothing mouths.
All right.
I will take another stab at one of these rats.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
That kills it. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
I will end my turn there.
Syllar?
Would two-weapon fighting also work for your hands?
Sure.
So then I'll try to just grab two of the rats and just grab them and throw them away as hard as I can towards a wall.
Okay.
How is the unarmed attack? Unarmed strike is +4. All right. It's a 19.
Yes. And the second one?
14.
Okay. You grab two of them and whip them at the walls, and they splatter and stop moving.
All right.
Now it's their turn. Syllar, one of them on you. Not joking, I roll a 19. You take another hit point of damage, make another con save. And, oof! The two attacking Angler, I got a 5 and a 20. So Angler, you're going to take 2 hit points of damage from that bite, and you're also going to make a con save.
I got a 6 on my con.
Okay.
I got a 9 on mine.
Okay. All right. Back to you. Angler, you got 2 of them on you.
Take another stab.
Okay.
10.
That's a hit. You kill it. Syllar?
Yeah, try and grab the last one. L7.
Okay.
Good enough for a hit? For
No.
a grab? Right.
You,
If I
you
miss
could
them,
try. You could try to grab one of the ones on Angler too, if you want.
No, I'm gonna try and use my other hand to grab it. Try and grab again.
Okay, go ahead.
And that would be a 12.
That'll work. All right, last round here. An 11, that's a miss. And a 10, that's a miss. Oof, you guys are lucky. All right, each one of you still has a rat. Go ahead, Angler.
No, I've got all 3 of them off, right? 2 in the first round.
Yes, you're right.
1 in the last. Yeah. So Angler still has 2.
I got a 12 for one of them.
Yep, dead.
And I can't really do anything else, so.
You hear the cats in the barn, the ones that ran up to the second floor, like yelping and hissing still. You shake off the minor inconvenience of being bitten by rats, and do you carry on with this wagon?
Well, I'll dig out my potion of healing and swig that.
Okay.
Just to be sure.
You do. You restore your hit points to the ones that you had at the beginning of this morning before you got bitten by rats. Angler?
I'll do the same.
Okay. You also feel much better.
Let's see. But it's still open wounds, basically, right?
Sure.
All right, then I'll break out my water skin and soap.
I just want to be clear. You guys are doing this in the middle of the yard next to the street with the cart, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But as we're standing here, I'm going to grab my water skin and soap and clean off my my wounds and Angler's wounds.
Okay. You begin cleaning off your wounds. Angler, you're cleaning off your wounds. Both of you make perception checks.
10.
Oh, 13.
You hear a ruckus, Angler, from inside of the adjacent cottage. And it sounds like things being bumped into and smashed.
Does it sound like rats?
No, because moments after the smashing and the bumping, you hear like, "Ugh! Mm! Ugh! Ugh!"
More sick.
I'm going to ignore that and Togo and Syllar, let's get moving.
Yeah.
You're washing out your wounds. Go ahead and make a medicine check.
15.
Good. Now both of you roll initiative.
It's dirty 20.
Okay.
17.
You win just as you're like, oh, that's much better. And you're about to put your water down and kind of pack up your stuff. The back door of this cottage bursts open, and a disheveled looking, sweaty, kind of pale skinned man, like with bloodshot eyes and just yellow goop coming out of his eyes and his nose, just bursts out of the door, and he looks at you and he's like, ah! And he starts running towards you guys. Syllar, yours was a
Dirty 20.
dirty 20, so you win. What did you have, Angler?
17.
Okay, so Syllar, you see this guy coming at you.
Yeah. We'd be far enough away to grab my bow and an arrow.
Sure, I'll let you grab that this round and shoot.
All right. I'll actions.
I'm going to say out of realism, though, like you just drop your bandages and your water and grab your bow and arrow. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's. Plus 4, 13.
That's a hit. Damage?
D8. 3 and 2, 5.
Okay. The arrow sticks him in the shoulder and he's running at you. Angler.
He's running at Syllar?
He's running at Syllar, yes. So basically you can get an attack in before his turn.
Okay. I will also pull out my bow if that's possible
It is?
and shoot it.
Okay.
19
That's a hit. Roll damage.
and 5 to hit, but I'm also going to use a psychic knife thingy. To hit for that, it's dirty 20,
Okay.
and damage is 7. So 12 total damage.
All right, that drops him.
Not this time.
He like basically like momentum carries him in a clump in the dirt, like skidding to a halt right in front of Syllar.
All right.
You notice that the cats in the barn now kind of stop their hissing and mewing.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's grab our stuff and boogie out with the cart.
Okay.
Get out of here.
All right, you guys start pulling the cart. You get back down the block. Are you just going to leave the cart like in front of the inn, or are you going to try to bring it around to the back of the inn?
Just park it in front.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, fun.
I'm not really worried about anyone either noticing or taking action at this time with how things are going.
Okay. You get up to the front door of the inn.
Yeah. And start loading. Well, I'm not putting things in the cart, but bringing them up to the front door. So that only when the party is together, then we stuff it in the cart.
Okay.
Just to be
So
sure
you guys go in. You notice that the guy that came in the night before is still sleeping like under his blanket that Angler gave him. You go up to your rooms where you had packed up all your stuff. Each one of you just give me a D20 roll.
Net 20.
7.
Okay. What stuff do you grab in your first round? Or like whose stuff, I guess I should say.
I'd say my own. I
Okay.
can carry Harley's. like grocery bag it. You don't want to go for a round 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Going for
Um,
Ushun's stuff and backpack and basically sling that around half my shoulder and grocery bag the rest.
Okay. So you guys are making your way down the stairs. You get down to the stairs and you're about 15 feet away from the door. Make a perception roll.
Let's see, 22.
19.
You notice that the visitor, the one on the bench, he's not there. You see the blanket on the ground, and you see the like blood-stained napkin that he had used to like stem the bleeding on his head,
Mm-hmm.
but he's not there.
Quickly check and see if out the door, probably left the door open. If the cart is still there.
I would assume that you did not leave the door open.
No.
All right.
But the door is open. Now,
Is the car still in front?
the cart is still in front.
All right. I'm gonna go out, peek out the windows.
Roll initiative.
Ooh, 9.
Oof.
9 as well.
Oof.
That's a big oof.
You hear, and you see the visitor just running towards you guys. I'm going to roll randomly. He is racing towards Angler, and he tries to grapple you. 13. What's your armor class?
15.
Oof. So he's like, and he tries to grapple you and misses.
By the way, where was he coming from? Was he coming from outside?
He's outside. So it looks like he's infected. And he is outside and running back in to attack you.
All right.
So he tries to like grapple Angler, and he's like struggling with Angler. I don't know which of the two of you have the higher dexterity.
Mine's 18.
Dex, 14.
Okay, Angler, you get to go.
I will stab him.
So you're dropping everything that you have and pulling out your weapon and attacking him?
Yes.
Just making sure. Okay.
16. 16 to hit.
That is a hit. Roll damage.
5.
All right. Syllar, you see this madman attacking Angler. Angler like drops his stuff, pulls out his blade, lunges towards and stabs the madman, and the madman seems to be still engaged in trying to like grab and bite Angler.
Mm-hmm.
It is your turn.
Yeah, I'm dropping my stuff and drawing both my swords as I run up.
Okay.
And take 2 swipes at the guy.
Okay.
Let's see, it's what's a +4, 17 and 11.
The 17. Okay, roll damage.
Sword 6. That's 8.
You drop him.
Nice.
Just then, the door, the first floor door to Zam's room bursts open, and Zam, in his bedclothes, stumbles out, his eyes and nose dripping goop, his eyes bloodshot, his oily skin, and awoken by the sound of the screaming of the man in your combat, he races towards you with a bestial, horrible, vicious face racing towards you.
All right.
Roll initiative again. Dun, 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 dun.
That's a 16.
22.
Oh, 22, you're lucky because he got a high roll. Angler, you see the nice innkeeper that welcomed you in a few days ago, but he's not the same man. He's racing towards you.
What a shame.
Face sickly and contorted in rage.
Gonna have to stab him.
Okay, go ahead.
24 to hit.
Good lord. What's the damage?
Damage is 5, and I'm gonna use another psychic knife. Just want them all to die. To hit, it is 24 again.
Oof.
Almost 11. And 6 damage.
So 11 damage. You stab him, it is clear, like you basically disembowel him as he's running by, but he still reaches out to try to grapple you. 13 does not
15
succeed.
is my AC.
Okay, Syllar, he's still alive. Fueled simply by sickness and rage. And he's, again, trying to grapple Angler, and he's like, and his like guts are hanging out.
Yeah. Running up in flanking.
Okay.
And 2 swipes. Ooh. Let's see. That's a +4. 23 and 5. And net 1 on the second roll.
The 23 will do.
And that will be another 6 for 8 points.
You drop him. You basically run up, cut him in the back, and he collapses in kind of a heap. There's blood and guts everywhere between these two guys.
Yeah. Trying to avoid it.
Okay. You pick up your stuff that you dropped, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Getting it up probably by the window, as the door is now a puddle of blood.
Just gonna set the stuff on the bench that he was sleeping on.
Okay.
Yeah, on the table by the window.
Yeah, there are plenty of tables. Are you leaving the door open or are you closing it?
Oh, I'm shutting it and locking that door.
Okay.
Right.
You guys lock up.
Yeah.
A short time later.
How are our wounds? Were we able to clean them off well enough, or?
Yeah, you feel like they were cleaned pretty well.
All right. Small bites, so.
Harley, you make it back. As you're making it back, you see a few buildings on the way back where it looks like the doors have been left open. You pass by a stable where you see the body of a man on the ground in the dirt. And then as you come up the street towards the inn, you see a cart, but with no horse, but you see a cart parked outside on the street of the inn. You are sweating because you've been carrying the body of the innkeeper's wife for many blocks now. So you get to the front door, it is locked.
Well, I'll probably still be peeking out the window.
Okay, then I'll say that you see Harley carrying the body of a woman.
Right. Open up the window and up this way.
I shout at the guys. I found her!
Quiet.
Oh, okay.
How is she doing?
She's well.
She doesn't look well. She looks like she is dead and maybe was also infected. You see the dried crust of the yellow stuff like all over her nose and her eyes.
Yeah.
I just.
What do you mean well? Well enough for a dead person?
Exactly. I just throw her on the ground in front of the inn and I say, well, it's not a pretty meat bag, but it is the innkeeper's wife. Where's the innkeeper?
Open the door.
He's up with her, up and away. He attacked us, and we had to put him down.
Okay, you're
Same
telling me
for the visitor.
You're telling me that they are already together. Okay. I don't know. I don't need to know anything else.
But the visitor is also gone rabbit and disposed of, dispatched.
So just to be clear,
shame.
Just to be clear, the body of the innkeeper's wife is now on the front porch of the inn outside.
Yeah,
and
down
the
by the
other
window.
two bodies are inside, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
would you open the door?
I will open the door.
All right. Harley, you go inside. You
Mind
see
the ball.
And I drag the body inside.
You drag the body inside? Okay. So you have all three bodies inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whew, quite a bloodbath.
I'm going to say you have a little bit of time. Smash cut back to Ushun. You basically are now you're done with all the preparations, and it's simply a matter of time of just slowly and continuously cooking down the herb concoction that she's making to make it into a kind of a tarry concentrate. And it's literally just her, stirring occasionally and adjusting the heat so it's not too hot. Do you want to stay there with Rihanna, or like to protect her, or do you intend to go back to the inn?
How much time do you need?
She says, well, this will probably finish cooking by tonight, and then it's going to have to sit. And then I'll scrape it tomorrow, and I will mix it with the herbs, and then I'll need to dilute it with some kind of a citric juice. She said, I'll probably use some of the limes that I have.
Okay.
She says, perhaps by tomorrow afternoon, I could have the first...
Well, they're going to be closing down the city.
She said,
and
why? How do you know this?
That's what a constable said.
Oh.
Probably by tomorrow.
Is the sickness that bad already?
Apparently. Okay. What can you move? What can you process while moving?
She's like, nothing. I need all of my kitchen.
Okay. Our group is looking for a means of transportation out of the city. I don't want to get caught here. I'm not all that comfortable in cities anyway, and this illness coming around, I mean, any rat, dog, cat, person can have it. And oh jeez. Okay. Please keep your doors, shutters locked. Don't let anyone in except for me.
Okay. I will.
And Syllar, Harley, and Angler. Okay, so tomorrow afternoon?
Yes, I think so. Maybe by late morning.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna check in with my friends, and if there's any news, I'll be back.
Okay. She says, I'll lock up right as soon as you leave.
Okay.
So.
And I'll see make sure it's all secure.
Yeah, so she walks out with you, and you go out, and then she closes the door, and you hear her bolt it, put in the deadbolt behind it.
And I'll grab the door and jiggle it to make sure it's
yeah, it seems pretty firm.
Okay. God. I'll go back to the inn.
Okay, make a perception check.
Yeah. 8.
You're walking back to the inn from her shop. Down one of the side streets, and like this is several blocks down, you see somebody like run past, like they're running from one side of the street to the other.
Okay, I look in the direction he came from.
I mean, you could go down there where you saw.
No, I'm just looking.
You don't see anything.
Okay, I keep going, but I'm gonna look back every once in a while.
Okay. You get to the inn. You see a cart with no horses outside of the inn.
Okay, I'll check out the cart.
It looks like it's in decent condition. It's not a big cart. It's a 4 foot by 8 foot long cart. The wheels seem to be in okay shape. Seems like something that you could probably pull because you're strong.
Yeah, and I'll check that out.
Yeah,
I'll check that out while it's unloaded.
Yeah,
no
you
problem.
feel like I mean, not that you could go as fast as if you had some pack horses pulling it, but you feel like you could get it moving if you had to.
Okay. All right. So I walk up to the door.
It's locked.
Hey guys, let me in.
Yeah. We will go to the door, unlock it, and greet.
All of you make perception checks.
Oh no. 8.
9.
5.
Oh, lucky.
9.
Okay. You open the door for Ushun.
Yeah, I'm coming in.
You hear the sounds of growls and footsteps running towards you. And about 30 feet away, you see a group of three like men of different ages, all of whom seem to be infected, running around the corner towards you. You can get inside of the building and close the door.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You close the
Syllar,
door.
there's 3 outside.
You deadbolt it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, someone will.
You hear them slam into the door and they're pounding on it and growling and bestial screams.
I'm gonna go upstairs. Oh, you got my stuff down here. Great.
Is there a window above the doors?
My blades, so.
By the way, the floor is still bloody.
So, Ushun, what you see inside are 3 bodies, the visitor, Zam, and you see Zam's wife, Keely. They all look like they were infected. There's blood all over the floor. Harley, you asked about windows. If you go to the 2nd floor, you could open up the shuttered windows, but it would be difficult because there's a front porch to the inn with like a little roof. So
yeah, like
if you were trying to shoot at any of the infected at the front door, they would basically have half cover.
I'll do it anyway.
Okay.
Well, I'll utter an orcish profanity and grab all 4 of my javelins.
Okay. Syllar, what are you gonna do?
Hearing the commotion, I'm going out of the kitchen, wiping off my blades.
Okay.
What's going on outside?
3 infected.
They're banging at the doors. It sounds like one of them's moved over to one of the shuttered windows and it's banging on that. Harley, you get up to the top.
Any gaps under the door?
Yeah. Like a little bit. Harley, you get up to the window up top.
Yep.
You can open up the shutters, and like I said before, you could sort of see 2 of them that are by the door, but they have half cover.
What about the one on the shutters?
Okay, I'll try to shoot them with Eldritch Blast as much as I can.
Okay. Instead of rolling, I'm going to say that you continuously shoot them with Eldritch Blast. At some point, one of them, after being blasted, kind of comes around to look up at you and is literally trying to jump up and climb up the building to get to the window that you're at, but failing. You continuously blast him.
Fish in the barrel.
If anybody else wants to take care of the guy that had moved down to the window, the shutters are closed, but he's hitting them very hard to the point where you think they might break.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was thinking of if the gap under the door is big enough, just slide in my sword and just try and swipe their ankles, see if they drop and then stab them, perhaps.
Yeah, you could kind of swipe at them, but it's not really, you don't have enough leverage to like do any damage. It's kind of more of a distraction than anything else.
Right. After I'll probably give up and give something else a try.
I'm gonna stand about 15 feet away from the shutters, and I say, "Hey, angler, open them up." And I have my javelins ready.
Walk over.
All right.
Open it up.
Okay. Angler opens it up. You can make an immediate surprise attack.
Let me see. What is that? Javelin plus. Let me see. That is a not enough.
Oh, if it's a surprise, would it be advantage?
It's 2. Oh, advantage?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. 6.
6 or a 2?
6 is the advantage.
Somehow you throw a javelin and it just sails right past this enraged guy as he's like rocking back and forth, and he leaps through the window and tries to grab and pull himself in.
Okay. Try another one.
Angler, we're right there. You can attack.
For angler?
Stabby
Angler.
pokey man is gonna stabby poke. 17 to hit.
Yes. Damage.
Ooh, 11.
He's not dead, but you just messed him up. He's kind of like falling on the floor trying to get up to attack.
And then I am going to disengage. I'm out.
Okay. Syllar.
Yeah. Well, I disengage from the door and just run over to the guy and swipe at him with my sword.
Okay.
For 19.
Yes. Damage.
And that gets him 5 points of damage.
And now there are 4 infected bodies in the inn with you guys. Congratulations.
Yeah, my next javelin attack missed.
Doesn't matter. You have 4 dead bodies in there with you.
Oh, okay.
And 2 on the front porch that Harley blasted repeatedly.
He just keeps missing.
Got to get out of here. Rihanna, the apothecary, said she won't be done until at the earliest late morning. She's got everything brewing and stewing, and she's just not done.
Well, if someone can bang on the door from the inside to distract them, I'll just grab my bow and hang out the window and shoot at him.
There's nothing else alive.
Oh, he already killed the 2 outsides.
Yeah, Harley blasted the ones outside.
All right.
You guys, the 2, and then the other guy that just burst in. I'm assuming you're closing the shutters again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. What were you saying about the apothecary?
She won't be done until the earliest late morning. She's got everything brewing and stewing in there. And I also want to say, let's get these bodies out of here. I mean,
honestly, would it be smart for us to go to the apothecary and hunker down over there?
She doesn't have a lot of room.
Yeah, so the apothecary's shop is a 1-story like 4-room little cottage. So there's like a front room where she has her shop. Then there's like a bedroom, and then there's a kitchen, and then there's kind of like a back porch. So, and there's a lot more windows. The inn that you guys are in is a bit more sturdy. Certainly you definitely have a lot more like positions from which you can attack with the second floor windows. There is a back door that's also locked and secured by the kitchens, but you also have the advantage of you're in the inn, so you have like casks of ale, bottles of wine, stocked food pantry, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Which was on the nomination of getting hauled out for bringing along with us.
So to the matter of what you do, after all of this, and after, where do you want to bring the dead bodies? Do you want to put them out on the front, or do you want to throw them out the back?
Out back.
Okay. So I'm assuming that you're going to drag them and someone's going to carry the door and somebody's going to watch out.
Yeah, I'll drag them and I'll stick them out in any piece of grass back there. I'll just dump them.
So Syllar looks out the back windows from the second floor, doesn't see anything. You guys, maybe Angler opens the door, you drag them out away from the house, you put them in the grass. You get back inside.
Lock the door. Start cleaning up.
Clean up. Okay.
I prestidigitate the mess.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's even better.
That significantly improves things. You clean up rather quickly. And from all of your various morning escapades, you find yourselves, a little more maybe impacted by what's actually seems to be going on.
Yeah.
And despite everything that you just encountered, it still seems relatively quiet out, as it's late morning, almost noon, and you guys are a little bit hungry.
Right. Well, now that things have calmed down, guys, Angler and I got bitten by some rats. We both took a potion of healing and cleaned out our wounds with water and soap. So we hope we staved it off quickly enough. But keep an eye on us, and if need be, you know what to do.
For now, I'm just going to take off my mask and put it in my bag.
Don't worry, Angler. I'll shoot you in the head if it will be necessary.
Just give him a thumbs up.
I'm looking at their eyes. First, Syllar.
You make medicine check.
17.
All right. So right now he looks okay. His eyes look okay. He doesn't seem to have a fever. The wound looks clean, actually. Like he did a good job kind of cleaning it up.
Okay, then I'm going to look at Angler. 14.
Basically.
Now I roll well.
Basically, same thing. Like they both look like they got to the wounds pretty quickly, cleaned them up, bandaged them. They don't seem to have any negative reaction.
I'm going to keep checking on you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I feel anything changing, I'll try and let you guys know.
Okay.
I'll keep cooking on you guys, just so you know.
So I'm going to say that you guys kind of do this check over. You eat lunch, I assume. Hey,
Harley, let's go into Zam's room and prestidigitate, because he was sweating awful bad. I'm going to see if he has any papers about what to do with the inn if he dies.
I'm on it. Just keep looking for enemies.
Okay.
And I'll
Are you
Clean the room.
guys while they're doing that, Syllar and Angler, are you guys kind of occasionally keeping watch, or what are you doing with your time?
Yeah. Keeping watch and depending on how much we need, maybe one or two of us can also bring up stuff from the pantry.
Okay.
Setting them by the door, the window for packing up.
Okay. So I'll say another hour goes by. Ushun, you don't find any. You find like ledgers, the hotel ledgers, but you don't really find any like sort of will that would describe like what to do if Zam or Keeley died.
Okay, I'll just make sure everything is neat and tidy and
Okay.
shut the door.
Do you check through any of the other rooms in the inn?
I suppose we should.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
I can go through them.
Okay.
I'm not
So what I'm
that
gonna
good at
say
investigating.
is that basically it looks like, other than the rooms that you were in, it looks like 2 of the rooms were empty and one of the rooms seems to have been occupied. By whom, you don't know, because there's no one in the room. You do see like a leather, basically like a leather bag, and there's some clothing in there. You see a set of shoes that are kind of polished and kind of nicer quality. You see a very nice, like tailored men's velvet dress coat that is actually like hanging in a closet. You don't find any sort of like paperwork that would identify who this person was.
What's in the leather bag?
So you search the leather bag. There's several sets of clothes and a few pouches of coins. One pouch contains 70 gold pieces. Another pouch contains, actually there are 4 pouches that each contain 50 silver pieces.
Ooh, shiny.
Convenient.
I just put everything back as best I can and just leave it there.
Okay. Just to be clear, in the time that you guys have been here, you have not seen any other patrons staying in the inn. So it looks like this stuff may have been here for longer than you have been in town.
Well, okay. Well, I'll bring the stuff down. Found this in a room, and I'll put it all on the table.
Shouldn't we burn the bodies?
Yeah, probably attract too much
attention.
And we might burn down the inn. So just
maybe
if they're
that's
far enough away from the...
Well, maybe that's an option for later.
no.
I mean, if the bodies are far enough away from any building, we can eventually. But...
Anyway, I found this stuff in one of the rooms. It looks like it's been here longer than we've been here. Look at these nice shoes. They don't fit me. This coat, lots of other clothes, and bunch of money. And I plop it all down on a table. No ID, so I guess this is ours.
I'm gonna put the coat on Harley's shoulders.
It fits pretty nicely. It's definitely like man-sized.
Thanks, man. That's great.
I guess Angler and Harley, you could each make a D20 roll.
13.
15.
Okay, so Angler, as you are handing the coat to Harley and putting it on his shoulders, you feel something in the right pocket of the coat.
I will pull it out.
It's a ring, and it looks like it has a symbol.
I will show it to the group.
Okay. It looks like a signet ring. Make a history check.
All of us?
Well, he said he showed it to the group, so yeah.
3. I'm
2.
not out of this world.
It was almost a 20. Almost. But it was a 2.
17.
Syllar?
The 5 plus what we're rolling again?
History.
History.
Ushun.
Not that much. History. No, that's a 5.
Ushun, you don't know the lineage that's related to this. You can tell that it's a signet ring, the kind of thing that nobles wear. And you feel like you've seen it before, but not in Melvant.
You know, this is something that the nobles carry, and I've seen this symbol before, but not here.
Do you remember where?
Can I hold the ring and look at it for a while?
We'll give it to Ushun.
Okay, I'm gonna spend several minutes looking at it and then closing my eyes and tilting my head back like this and then looking at it again. So, trying to think. And you guys can do it.
Check.
Okay. I don't know how this will go. Okay, intelligence. 7.
You've seen it before, but not here. And you can't remember where you've seen this symbol, but you know you've seen it before.
Yeah, can't remember. I tried to put it on one of my fingers.
It's a little snug.
Nah, I'm not going to do
Fit on
that.
her pinky finger.
Don't worry, you'll remember later.
Oh, can I put it on?
Sure, you can put it on
case I
your
remember?
pinky finger. Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys, you know, since this day has kind of gone along, by middle of the afternoon, I would say that you've removed the bodies, you've cleaned and prestidigitation and sanitized and everything, right? Like kind of investigated and secured this building. And you had lunch. So middle of the afternoon, you hear bells again, like the same bells that you heard last night, but it's from somewhere far away. Like you guys go up to the second floor and you kind of look out and you see several blocks away to the west, you see smoke like from another building, but it's not you can't really see exactly where it is, but it's kind of off in the distance, and you hear the bells towards that direction.
It looks like another one bites the dust.
I'm gonna say, "Hey, Syllar, come here." I'm gonna look at his eyes. 5.
He seems to be okay, and Angler seems to be okay.
Oh. Guys,
Anything
feeling
that you
okay?
guys want to do specifically while it's still in the middle of the afternoon?
I'll take a nap.
Okay. Anybody
And
else?
I'll just be downstairs.
Okay. Harley, what do you do in the afternoon?
Okay, I'm on the guard. And from time to time, I checked Syllar and Angler, just to be sure.
Okay.
That's pretty much everything.
Syllar and Angler, anything that you want to do in the afternoon?
I'm gonna use my psionic power recovery, which gives me 1 use of the knives back. It's basically just a short rest.
Okay. Short rest. All right.
That's about it.
Yeah, I'm just probably gonna sit and meditate. Effectively a long rest.
Okay. The afternoon goes by. It's still light out, but it's evening. I'm going to say it's maybe about 5 p.m. You hear another set of bells, this time to the east of you. You go to the second floor, look out the windows. You see another trail of smoke from a fire that's maybe a quarter mile away.
Okay, guys, I have to take a quick nap, quick short rest, just to be refreshed.
Yeah, did I take a short rest or a long rest?
Sure. Well, I'll say you could take, I mean, you could have taken a short rest in the afternoon, any of you.
Okay. Guys, I'm gonna go check on Rihanna, the apothecary. Anyone want to come with me?
I'll go out with you.
Okay, before you guys leave, I am going to use psionic whispers. That means we can communicate telepathically. Gotta roll 1d6 to see how long it lasts. 4 hours.
And what's the range on that?
1 mile.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
I thought it was longer than that, but that works.
Okay. So you're going to stay back with Harley, and they're going to go, but you can maintain telepathic communication.
Yes.
All right.
So who's going with me?
I am.
Angler, gain an inspiration point for that.
Yeah.
Ushun and Syllar, describe to me like how you're going to go to Rihanna's shop. Like, are you like walking, running, sneaking?
I want to go. I personally want to go a direct way, and a way that has lots of space around us.
Okay.
So we can see what's coming at us. What do you say?
Yeah, just staying quiet, not make too much sound, and just stay up in the open areas,
Okay.
so we can see and hear things coming.
I'm going to have you make stealth checks.
And I'm gonna be leaving my backpack behind and just carrying my weapons and some rope and stuff with me. But
Yeah, I'm leaving my
light.
backpack behind too. Stealth. Okay, not incredibly horrible.
roll a stealth, right? Let's see, 16 for stealth.
11.
Okay. You guys begin making your way through the streets. It is clear to you that things have changed. You see every building that you pass by is completely closed up and shuttered. You get to one intersection and you see a group of 4 guards in armor, town guards in armor, with shields and spears. They have swords at their sides and they're kind of like marching through. And 2 of them also have torches. And as you guys are moving along, you see them up ahead, like about a half block up ahead. They're kind of marching through a street. They don't seem to see you.
Is there an alleyway we can duck into?
No,
Yeah.
no, let's just stand here and wait for him to come up to us.
They're not coming towards you. They're kind of like, so you're like walking this way. They're like crossing in front,
okay.
like a half block down.
All right. Well, at least there's someone out there. Let's go.
You wait a little bit, they pass by, you continue. Make a second stealth check.
18.
18.
Okay. You make it.
Wow.
You get you get to the block where her shop is, and you notice there's what looks like a horse that is on the ground, and like it's about a half block up from where her shop is, and you see a bunch of rats eating the body of this horse, like ferociously, like tearing it apart.
Yeah, let's stay away from that.
You go around to the back. You see, over the short fence, you see it looks like her back door is still closed and shuttered.
Okay. We'll go up, I guess.
Okay.
And I'll Rihanna, tap a little bit.
Who is it?
Ushun and Syllar.
You hear the deadbolt slide. The door opens a little bit. She looks out. She looks at you. She looks at Syllar. She says, "Okay, come in." She opens the door. Okay. The smell of the roasting concoctions is very pungent. Like now it like hits you, almost like where your eyes are stinging. And she still has the like cloth wrapped around her face, and she once you guys get inside, she closes the door and deadbolts it.
Oh,
she says,
I look for some
like out there
to wrap around my face as well.
She says, what's it like out there? Earlier this afternoon I heard some ruckus out front, and it sounded like fighting, and then there were guards and yelling. And
well, we were attacked. Our group was attacked at the inn by infected individuals.
Oh no.
Syllar and another one of my party were bit by rabid rats, and I've been checking on both of we're checking on both of them. So the patient I had for you who was going to take the potion to test it has died. We had to kill him, but Syllar and Angler are potential patients. They haven't shown any symptoms yet, but
like, what do you mean they died? They died of this disease?
No, we had to kill them.
Yeah.
There's a horse about a half a block away that is being torn into by rabid rats.
It's bad out here.
Yeah.
From what I've gathered with the innkeeper, some people can have fevers and be sick for a while, and then suddenly just turn rabid. And the other person we had was basically resting, and he also suddenly turned rabid after unexpectedly. But they all had injuries and open wounds. So it's something to keep an eye out if we either go fall asleep for a long while, or really tired for a while, or get fevers and bloodshot eyes. That's basically the end is nigh.
Tell her what you did with your wounds.
Yeah, when we got bitten by those rats, we quickly took a potion of healing and just used soap and water to clean the wounds out as best we could. We seem to do okay for now, but we still keep tabs on ourselves.
She says, "This seems very, very dangerous, all of this. I don't know."
So how close?
Prepare these concoctions faster, but they're not. It's taking time to stew them down.
So how close are you finishing? And I'm holding up this hand because that's the hand I have the ring on. So how close are you to finishing?
She says, I mean, no closer than I was before. This is slow going. If the heat's too hot, and she doesn't seem to notice your ring. She says, if the heat's too hot, it will ruin the entire recipe. I've got to keep it at a low heat, and I've got to stir it so it doesn't stick.
Okay, yeah.
She says probably sometime late tonight is when it'll be the appropriate consistency, and then I just have to let it sit and cool. And tomorrow, perhaps, I can scrape it off and begin the final processing.
So, is Angler hearing what we hear?
You can tell him telepathically.
Yeah, I'll let my thoughts flow out as best I can. I'm not used to this.
Okay.
Okay.
Would you feel safer if we stayed here for the night in case anyone drops by so we can defend?
She says, well, yes, if you're okay with that.
I think it might be the best option to keep you and the potion safe. You never know what might happen during the night.
She says, that would be wonderful. I would appreciate just having someone here to keep me company. It's some of the sounds I've heard today are frightening.
Yeah.
Okay, we've gotten a cart. So we'll load it up and be right back. We'll bring some food and
Wait,
stuff.
You're leaving and then coming back?
Well, one of us can stay with you. But if we're all going to
bring a cart here?
Yeah, we're going to bring a cart here.
No, why would you? Why would you bring a cart here?
Because it has bedding, it has wine, it has food. We can put it all in one container and bring it. And
No, don't bring anything here. It's been quiet other than what's recently happened outside. I don't want to draw any more attention here than we would need to.
Okay.
She says, I have food and I have a bed and I have extra blankets if you'd like to make some rolls and sleep. It's probably cooler to sleep out on the back porch. There's a little bit more cross breeze between the shuttered windows.
Yeah, but is it secure?
Well,
it's better to stay inside.
Okay.
Well,
as if it's okay with you, I just stirred all of this stuff. I'm going to lie down and just rest. I've been on my feet all day and night. So if you could
you can give us instructions on what to do with these brews.
Well, if you watch what's cooking here, if it begins to bubble, that means you just have to stir it a little bit with the wooden spoons. But don't mix spoons between the different concoctions.
All right.
She says, and don't let me sleep all night. Just wake me up in an hour.
All right.
So you want to wait, Syllar?
Yeah, I'd say we both stay here. We have plenty of stuff here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to say this out loud. Angler, you and Harley come to Rihanna's, the apothecaries, and bring some extra sheets and blankets if you want. And Harley, if you can bring some of more of that stew, that would be great.
Well, honestly, I don't think we need to. It's probably best, and say this out loud and telepathically, just stay at the inn, protect all our stuff that we have bundled up there, and just wait till morning till we'll contact you again. It's better if we
Oh.
too much stuff to bring here.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of dangerous out in the streets. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
As the angler is writing everything down, I just tell him, well, I'll send the murmur there, and if some things go south, it's not much, but it may help. And
Murmur can run around invisibly around the
well, he can fly,
fly. Yeah.
so it won't be a problem.
Yeah.
Now, do we hear that?
No.
About Murmur coming?
I can tell you guys that Murmur's coming, but
Okay.
I'll tell you guys that Harley's sending.
Okay,
to watch
Rihanna, in addition, we're getting Harley's familiar.
Aerial support.
Yeah, he can fly.
So she already went to sleep.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
So you guys are in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And
I'm also keeping an eye out on the pots.
Yeah. So you basically about every 10 minutes you end up kind of gently stirring. And after an hour, so Murmur arrives. After an hour, you wake her up.
A little bit longer to sleep.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. She said an hour. She was very
Yeah, but-
specific.
Yeah, but she was also dead tired, so
Yeah,
give her a
but
little extra.
what if she has to do something, you know? You know anything about that? I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, you got a point there. All right.
So you wake her up. She comes out. She's like, "Thank you," and she goes over to a large kind of wooden cask and pours herself a cup of water and drinks some of it, and then she goes over and checks on the concoctions, and she says, if you're hungry, she says, I have plenty of food in the pantry. Please help yourselves.
We're okay for now. We had dinner or lunch before we came over, so we're fine for now. How do my eyes look?
Wait, so say that again?
How do my eyes look?
Oh yeah.
They seem to be okay. I mean, you are actually kind of, I'm going to say it's about 6 p.m. at this point, and the sun is starting to set. So, smash cut back to the inn. Harley and Angler, each of you roll perception checks.
Okay.
That's the one.
7.
Okay, you hear a ruckus outside. You get up to the windows. By the time you look outside, you don't really see anything. Let's see. Syllar and Ushun, this is a little more difficult. Make perception checks.
Natural 1 for perception for 4 points.
6.
Oh boy.
We're a very perceptive group.
Yeah, those fumes were getting to us.
Yeah, we're not blessed with a lot of wisdom or whatever we need.
You guys hear some ruckus outside as well. When you go to kind of try to peek through the shutters, you just see a group of the soldiers who are burning the corpse. They've like doused it with oil and they're burning the corpse of the horse.
Right.
Another couple hours goes by. Perception check, Harley, perception check, Angler.
Ten.
I got 15.
Okay, you hear another ruckus outside. This time when you get up to the windows, Harley, you see just down the street in the other direction from where the burned down building was, you see a group of guards with torches and spears and shields fighting against 3 of the infected humans. You hear the madness of the infected humans, and you hear the town guards kind of fighting against them.
Okay, how far it is, approximately?
Like 250 feet away.
Okay. Oof. So in that case, I'll stay put and I'll keep an eye on the streets.
Okay. So after about 5 minutes, it looks like the guards have defeated the infected. And a few moments after that, you see a large burst of flame as if they are burning the bodies.
Also, I'll check Angler for any signs of affliction or illness.
He seems okay.
Syllar
and Ushun, go ahead and make perception checks.
Yeah. And should the air cover also make a perception? What was his name?
Sure.
Oh, come on. That's a 7 for perception.
Aye.
You guys officially suck. Murmur, Harley, you've commanded Murmur to just keep an aerial perception around the cottage where the apothecary is, yes?
Yeah.
I will say that
around the cottage and maybe a block on each side.
He basically frequently tells you that there are animals and humans that are infected running around the streets. Sometimes there are guards that will stop them and fight them. Sometimes the animals bite people or other animals. And as nightfall, does Murmur have dark vision?
It has Devil's Sight. Magical darkness doesn't impede the imp's dark vision.
Ooh, that is exceptionally valuable. So nighttime comes. You guys, sun is set. The city is alive with the sound of chaos. Rather frequently, you will hear the sounds of running or snarling infected people outside, or people screaming for help. You hear the bells ringing, and you see across the sky in different spots all over the city, buildings burning. Murmur even tells you, Harley, that he sees people like packing up their things and sneaking out of their houses.
Okay.
And trying to make it down to the port, down to the south where the harbor and the docks are.
Okay, we should keep our group safe.
Okay. He says that the area around the apothecary's shop right now is safe.
That's great. Keep looking, and I'll be on the watch here. Okay. Anything suspicious, any larger group of infected, and I have to know immediately.
Okay. So nighttime has come. In each of your locations, who is taking first watch and who is taking second watch?
I'll take first watch.
You're taking second?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
During the afternoon break, I already basically took my long rest with the 4 hours meditation. So I'm good for a while.
So Syllar, Okay, so Ushun, you're on first watch, and then Harley's on first watch?
I'll take first watch.
Oh, Angler. Okay, so
Yeah.
Angler, you and Ushun are each going to make a perception check for your watch.
Before that,
Yeah.
I want to look at Syllar's eyes. And if Rihanna has a better, I think Rihanna has a better role. Could she look?
Yeah. She's holding up a candle. She's looking at Syllar's eyes, and she says, "Are you tired? Your eyes are a little bit red. Maybe you should rest."
All right. I'll rest. No
Okay.
problem.
Syllar,
Mm-hmm.
shall I kill you when?
Not now.
No. When you get the fever and you start losing memories?
I would say not really. Depending on how far along the medicine is,
Okay.
just tie me up.
Okay. I can do that.
It's no sense killing me if the potion is nearly done, and you
Yeah.
could never try using the potion.
Okay. 6 for perception.
I got a nat 20.
Okay, I'm going to do Ushun first. You hear some noises outside, kind of in the alley that runs behind the block on which her shop is. It sounds to you like maybe the creaking wheels of a wagon and people like whispering. Like, and then like you hear the wagon creaking.
Did the murmur see that too?
Yes. Are you asleep or awake?
Well, I'm asleep, but if he's waking me by messaging, so shit happens.
Okay. This is not a large group, so Murmur's not going to wake you up.
Okay.
Ushun, do you do anything? Do you want to go check it out or no? Okay. After a few minutes, the sounds dissipate. Angler, you hear similar sounds, but no wagon. You hear voices outside, like within a couple buildings of where you're at. And they don't sound like infected growling voices. They sound like people talking in like a hush talk.
Is there any way to like discreetly look out the window or something?
Sure. Make a stealth roll.
25.
Oh yeah. You kind of like go over to a corner window and you open one of the shutters and you're just kind of like looking out. Now you only have the to see right now, but you see a group of 5 guys who they're all kind of wearing loose fitting shirts and pants and like soft shoes. And they all have weapons at their sides, like short swords and axes and stuff, and like daggers in their hands. And you see that they're sneaking from the building next door to you over towards the inn, and they're kind of approaching your cart that's outside.
I am going to go wake up Harley.
Okay, Harley.
How long has it been since they went to Rihanna's?
Oh, several hours.
Several, okay.
Don't worry. I thought about that, and we have murmur there.
It's right on the board. We got like 5 people outside. We should probably just let the cart go.
5 people. Are they heavily heavily armored, and are they?
They don't seem to be wearing armor, but they definitely have weapons. They look like maybe sailors or dock workers, maybe.
Okay, we may shoot them out of the window.
You could.
And 5 it is.
Do you look outside? And do you have dark vision?
Well, no, but I'm asking Angler.
Well, he doesn't have dark vision either.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in that case, we should let them have it. That guard is not too important for us at the moment. Our safety and safety of our comrades are more important.
You hear the creaking of the wooden wheels of the cart. Angler, you're able to peek out discreetly, and you see 3 of the guys, 2 of them up front pulling and 1 behind pushing, and they're turning the cart around, and they're heading back south towards the harbor and the docks.
I'll relay that to Harley, but that's it. Not gonna chase him or anything.
Okay.
Okay.
You continue watching them?
Yeah. Till I can't see him anymore.
Okay, Angler, keep quiet and let them go.
Okay, they do.
They must not know we are here.
You hear them more so than see them as they head south until you don't really hear them anymore. Okay. In the middle of the night, there's kind of a crescendo in the sound in the middle of the night. Multiple fires, bells ringing. You see and hear at different points from both near the shop and from near the inn, groups of people, small groups of people on foot, trying to sneak out of their houses. Some of them seemed to be heading north. Some of them seemed to be heading south. Periodically, you will hear whistles, like signal whistles, and you'll see groups of 4 or 6 town guards, armored, shields, spears, swords at their sides, torches, kind of moving briskly around, and several times you hear a group of guards pass through the streets and say, "Melvant is under curfew. Stay in your homes. Keep your doors and shutters closed."
You hear it, Angler? Be silent.
At a certain point, a cadre of guards comes to the inn. They bang on the front door several times.
We're keeping it quiet.
Okay.
Not answering.
After you choose to not answer the door, they leave. You hear them go to a building on the next block, bang on the door. You hear some communication. You hear the scream of a man. And a few moments later, you hear the door slam, and then you hear them continue marching up the street. A little bit further across the town, towards the center of the town, near Ryana's cottage, you also hear town guards going from house to house. They bang on Ryana's front door. Syllar, you and Ushun hear this. Ryana hears it as well. She's like,
What?
Should I answer the door or not?
Don't answer the door. I just say in a medium voice, who goes there?
Town guard.
Oh, good.
Are
We
any
are
of
well.
you in there bitten or infected?
No.
No? We need to see you. Open your door.
Are any of you bitten or infected?
No. Now, open your door.
Rihanna, come here.
She comes over, she unlocks the door, and she opens it.
I'm going to look at Syllar go back and look at Syllar real quick. 15.
He looks okay.
I wake him up. Come on, Syllar.
You see that the guards are
See.
holding torches up, and one of them comes up and he looks at Rihanna and he says, okay. And he looks at you two and he checks you over and he says, okay. He says, is there anyone else in here?
Nope.
Do you have any pets or domesticated animals?
Nope.
And
Nobody here.
No. And he says, okay, keep your shutters and doors closed. Don't let anyone in unless it's an official town member.
All right.
And then
He's
he walks out. You guys close the door and lock it. Hours go by.
Are you ready to take a watch, Syllar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to lay down.
Okay. Hours go by, second watch. You hear more noise, and in the morning, there's a haze of smoke over the city. Not a lot of breeze coming off of the bay, off of the Moonsea, and basically all the fires from the previous night have left this haze of smoke in the air. And not just smoke from buildings being burned down, but smoke from pyres of the infected corpses of animals and humanoids being burnt as well. As the sun rises, all of you are kind of awake. Rihanna, is already at work scraping the pans of the concentrate to begin the final day of preparations for her potions. Angler, you are at level 1 of exhausted. And Syllar, you are also at level 1 of exhaustion. Despite your rest, despite feeling like you rested, like you all the precautions that you took, you are just not feeling really well. You feel kind of tired and weak, and your eyes feel very dry, and kind of there's like a slight bit of a burning sensation in your eyes.
I'm gonna tell Ushun that my eyes are starting to feel burning. I might be coming down with it.
You notice that, in fact, his eyes are a bit bloodshot. And he has a slight sniffle.
Yeah.
Harley, as you examine your old buddy Angler, despite the differences in his Kenku eyes, you could tell that they are irritated. And there's kind of a redness around the rim.
Man, you look like a crap today.
Right on the board, I feel like crap.
Rihanna, Syllar is infected.
She says, just hold on.
Yeah.
I'm working as fast as I can. Hopefully these potions will be done.
I'm gonna take out my rope and say, Ushun, take my rope and just
Now?
tie me up to the chair.
Okay.
Already, just to be
Okay.
safe.
I will take my time with this.
Put myself in a comfortable position, and
I will take my time with this, and because he's not opposing me, I think I can do a pretty good job. I also want to call down Murmur and open a window and call him in.
Okay. Murmur flies in.
Okay, Murmur.
Yes? Big lady?
Yeah. Quickly go to Harley and tell him that Syllar is infected. Potion is almost done. And when it is done and we've tested it on Syllar, you will carry one to Harley.
As I had the second watch, I'm probably awake. So Murmur is like conveying that to me in real time. So as the Ushun said that, Murmur is probably like,
Okay, done. What's next?
Wait,
Okay, boss.
you want something to eat? I'll get him something from the pantry.
Well, magical familiars are not very demanding, but okay.
Okay. I'll find something he likes and feed him.
Okay.
And I'll take
maggot.
something too.
Ooh, maggots.
Maggot?
Likey.
As you are feeding Murmur and patiently waiting for Rihanna to process things,
And I say, let me know how I can help.
you hear a knock at the door of the inn. Harley and Angular, you both hear this.
Just look at Harley.
Now it's morning, it's daytime, so
okay. We should make our way to their apothecary shop. But with all those guards outside, I'm not sure we can do that.
make a perception check.
Okay.
Four.
5.
Okay. You hear a second knock at the front door. It's not loud, but it's just.
I go to the front door and. Yes?
Is the inn open? Is anyone there?
Well, the inn is closed. Innkeeper's not feeling very well.
Oh. Okay. Well, see, I'm here to pick up some stuff. My lord was staying here and he sent me to pick up his things.
Okay. And do you have any proof that your lord sent you?
Yes.
Okay.
I could tell you what his stuff is. He left a leather bag with a lot of clothing. He's a nobleman and also a very nice coat. And if I could just get that, and then I'll bring it to him.
Okay, we had some robbery here in the last few nights, so You can come in and take what's left. I think there are some things in one of the rooms.
He says, well, okay.
Have you been bitten?
No.
I'll come on in. I'll check you.
Okay.
I let him in and I
right.
I thoroughly check him.
He basically looks like a common laborer. He is kind of like a light white shirt, linen shirt, and a cloth vest and cloth breeches and soft shoes.
Okay, and
he does not seem to be wearing any weapons.
And what's the name of, as I'm checking his arms and legs and so on, maybe just for the show, I'm keeping a conversation and who's that lord of yours? I haven't seen any nobles here lately.
He says, he looks at you and he goes, you look really familiar.
Yes? I'm still looking as a half drow.
Is Angler in the room? Yes?
I don't know.
He looks.
Yes, I am.
He looks and he goes, you know what? Maybe I'm at the wrong inn. I apologize. He looks around. He says, I don't think this is the right inn.
I'll close the door in front of him.
He turns around. He's like, hey, listen, I don't want any trouble.
Okay, you don't want any trouble. We don't want any trouble either. So you tell us what we want to know. We'll give you some shit that some noblemen left here, and we'll be on our way.
Okay, fine. Whatever you want to know.
Just the name of the Lord. Who's that? I haven't seen many nobles here lately. I asked you a simple question.
Well, I only know him as Lord Prospos.
How it's spelled?
Prospos.
Okay.
As he says that, I will let both Angler and Harley make an intelligence or history check.
Okay.
7.
History, you said?
Yeah.
Got stuck in the corner.
Oh, I got 8.
You've never heard of that name. He says, look, if you don't believe me, just give me his stuff. You can come back down to the docks. He's on a ship. He might even give you a reward if you want. I just don't want to be out and about with all this crazy stuff going on.
We don't want to be here either.
Well, if you have money, you could buy your way onto a ship.
Well, I'm not here alone just to make this decision, but you can grab everything you want in that room of your lord and go away.
Okay.
I'll leave
I
him.
I'll let him go. And I telepathically convey to the murmur. Okay, murmur, say your goodbyes to the nice lady and the nice elf, and I have scouting mission for you.
You do that. The young man goes up to the room and grabs the bag with the clothes in it. He comes back down and he says, there was supposed to be a fancy jacket too. And he looks at Harley. He goes, that happened to be the jacket?
Yeah, I found it in front of the inn when those ruffians left. Just last night.
Did you find anything in it? And he's looking through the bag as well.
Well, you can look in it. I'm found it as it is.
Make a deception check.
Okay.
Roll.
Okay. It's 15.
He says, All right, well, thanks. Good luck. He takes the bag with the regular clothes in it, and he goes out the door.
Okay, Murmur. There was a man, commoner, with all those fancy clothes we found. Just spy on him a little bit. Invisible, Murmur.
Yes, master, Murmur says. And that is where we'll end this episode of the Moonsea Adventures. Make sure that you like and subscribe and click on that notifications bell so you don't miss the next episode. And we will see you. Take it easy.
What happened to my camera?
Well, hello, and welcome to Bill Allen World. I am Wizzy, the Wizard. I'm back once again to remind you to subscribe and click on the notifications button, and also watch videos that are over there. Tune in to the next episode of whatever show you were just watching, and watch other shows featuring Bill. He made me say that, because he's a narcissist. Okay, bye.